Hello there and welcome back to another news video. It is about planned economy changes in this month apparently, with some coming into effect now and a poll. So let's just go and read this entire thing, right? Alright, so revision of the bonus reward for victory and defeat. In the recent economy updates, we described the mechanics of earning silver lines and research points and proposed that you vote for one of the possible variants to change the bonus rewards at the end of a mission. This was followed by the second stage of voting in order to make the final decision with confidence. These are the results. What RP reward distribution during a battle would you want to have in War Thunder? 56.7% voted for an increase for defeat, so 0.8 RP per second for defeat and 1.2 RP per second for victory. And the previous system, which 43.3% of the players voted for, where 0.6 RP seconds for defeat and 1.4 research points per second for victory, which as it says here was the current system. So it's essentially punishing defeat less while taking away some of the victory matches. I will state my opinions on everything and after reading through it. And then the second thing was, what silver lines reward distribution do you want to have in War Thunder? The majority voted on plus 20% for defeat and plus 47% for victory, while the minority voted on 0% for defeat and plus 67% for victory. So again, cutting away from winning matches, but put some on for losing matches. Anyways, does the bonus reward for defeat and victory in mission will be revised in accordance to the vote results. Changes will be deployed with an economic update, which we will introduce later. Apparently sometimes this coming month in February. Discussion on switching to the new economy model. Alright, so therefore a lot of things to say, as you can see. So let's get to it. Currently the game features an economy model with an calculation of economic parameters for mid and high tier vehicles based on the efficiency statistic for each vehicle. That is how you have things like the 2-4 with over 30,000 or the B29 with far over 30,000. I think they're actually over 60,000. Not entirely sure, but very expensive, and there's also a shitload of tanks that are barely usable because of that. And anyways, going on. Efficiency is the sum of silver lines earned without taking into account the reward multiplier, premium account boosters, achievements, and mission bonuses for the given time, divided by the number of deaths on this vehicle for the same period of time. That is, the more active rewardable actions are performed by players, hits, critical damage, curses, destruction of enemies, point, and so on, you know what. Just fucking playing the game objectives. And often they lose their vehicles, the higher the efficiency is. This obviously leads to the problem where at some point the vehicle is unprofitable to be played by the majority of the people, and only a very skilled minority actually continues to use them. So this starts to snowball, which you can see with a lot of vehicles in the game. The system is used in the game for most of its existence due to the specifics of gameplay. You may balance the vehicles by changing their technical characteristics very rarely and through a very limited range, as this may contravene historical data that we rely on when we create the vehicles. Although, if I'm not mistaken, they changed the reload time of the Leopard 2 as example because of balancing. So this is I don't know what to think about this point, because they have randomly limited things before, despite having proper documentation on it. Anyways, as a rule, we balance vehicles by the better rating BR, but we can only change it within certain ranges due to the features of the given vehicle. For example, the vehicles with modern HGMs with high armor penetration value can't be below a certain BR level, even when their efficiency is low. The same is true for the early heavy tanks with good armor protection that cannot be set with too high BR due to a weak gun. So essentially those vehicles have as the armor, so if you put them too high, the gun is is flat out useless and the armor doesn't actually work anymore. That's what they're trying to say here. And now to get into it more detail, apparently, this inevitably leads to a situation where some of the vehicles find themselves in more preferable conditions. They are more comfortable to play and much more effective on their tier, while others cannot really rival with opponents and are far less fun to play. The current economy system, hereinafter it will be referred to as vehicle efficiency economy, is built in such a way that playing on a less effective vehicle is more profitable on average to avoid the double punishment, gameplay and economic, from the inefficient vehicle. At the same time, playing with the more effective vehicles is more risky and requires player skills to achieve a decent reward after deducting the repair costs. However, with the growth of the vehicle number and the addition of new gaming nations, the uneven use of certain vehicles also grows. Some nations and vehicles are much more popular among players and this affects the efficiency statistics. Therefore, we are considering the option of introducing a new economic system, which will be completely based on the position of the vehicle in the research tree, rank and position at a rank relative to other vehicles. Further in the text, such an economy will be referred to as the rank-based economy. Such a system was originally used in the game for vehicles of initial ranks. Currently these are rank 1 and 2, and also partially 3 and 4. The potential transition to the rank-based economy will also cause another noticeable change, the reduction of the maximum repair cost. Due to the constant growth of the number of high-tier vehicles and the number of tiers themselves, the rank-based economy requires the revision of the repair costs and multipliers for all mid and high-tier vehicles. Instead, we are planning to set these parameters on the almost fixed level for vehicles of rank 6+, in order to minimize the following economic adjustments. In this case, the number of economy equivalent vehicles will be quite big. All vehicles of rank 6, 7 and following and will be constantly growing. Keeping the current max repair cost level for such a number of vehicles would be wrong, so it requires reduction. Before comparing two economic approaches in numbers, it is necessary first to recall one of the features of the economic update, the normalization of the economic parameters for vehicles. The normalization limits the maximum available change of economic parameters in every economy update. In order to smooth the transition to the target values as well as to avoid harsh changes for vehicles whose efficiency may vary over time. Thus, two tables are presented to compare the two economies. One with normalizing the values that allows a comparison of the two economies in the next economic update that's scheduled for February. Here you can also compare the parametrics for a specific vehicle in the next economic update depending on the economy used. For normalization of values that allows the comparison of the economics at the target values that economic parameters would hypothetically reach for a significant number of economic updates for current vehicles at their current performance. We are not providing target values with details on specific vehicles as these are hypothetical indicators that change with each subsequent upload of statistics. I will not go over these tables. I will, however, of course, link the entire article because you can also vote here. There's a vote button below. Because that would be very time consuming actually going into the tables and discussing them. I will only do that if there is extended interest from you in the comments, then I may do a video on those tables, but that would take a lot of time. Anyways, going on. In general, it is needed to note the following pros and cons for each economy for players. So here they're listing the pros and cons. Vehicle efficiency economy, which is the current one, so based on efficiency of a vehicle, the repair cost is decided. The plus is, on average, lossless play in less efficient vehicles of rank 4 and higher without premium account. That is a very odd sentence, but what they're trying to say here is you're not losing money at rank 4 or higher without premium account, which is something that's happening currently. Negative is, vehicles of the less popular game nations are often the most efficient and as a result unprofitable. Which is a current program. Oh no, what they're saying here is, okay, hold on. I kind of mix things up. So on average, you're making plus without premium on higher tiers apparently, which is not really overlapping with what I'm hearing from those people that actively play those ranks. But what they're also saying here is that the less popular vehicles are played by less people, usually also more skilled people, so they have a higher efficiency and becoming more unpopular because you're losing money with them, which results in a snowball effect I already mentioned earlier. And now they're listing the pros and cons for the rank-based economy. The first pro is a repair cost and reward multipliers are identical for similar vehicles of different game nations, so you're not being punished for playing a specific nation. Another plus is there is a clear correlation between economic parameters, repair cost, reward multipliers, reward for useful action, and position in the tech tree. So it's not just that none of the vehicles will have random costs, right? Negative is decrease in the demand for less efficient vehicles as they will become economically equivalent to more effective vehicles of the same rank, which may also lead to the decrease in the variety of vehicles embedded. I'm going to be honest, I kinda doubt this is going to happen. Because a lot of the garbage vehicles, I believe, aren't just played because they make more money or something like that, because they're cheaper. Um, it's more so that people already do prefer meta vehicles in quotation marks, very big quotation marks. And that is the reason why people are making minus to begin with. Because they're not just taking the cheapest vehicles, and in some cases you don't even have that as a choice. Because of the negative listed here. Okay, let's see. A generalized key difference between the rank-based and the vehicle-efficient economics can be summarized as follows. Greater reward multiplier for popular high-ranked vehicles. Lower repair cost for unpopular medium-ranked vehicles. Higher repair cost for popular high-ranked vehicles. Lower reward multiplier for unpopular medium-ranked vehicles. Which just kinda bad. Then here, let us make some specific examples comparing the target indicators. Not for the next economy update, for the final implementation for a hypothetically large number of economy updates at the current level of statistics of the economy by the vehicle rank and the economy by the vehicle efficiency for vehicles discussed in the community. Alright, so here we will now go over some examples given here. The first example is base repair cost for the T-95 in AB, which I believe means the Doom Turtle, so the big American, in quotations, tank destroyer thing with the 308 millimeters of frontal armor. In arcade will be 8,360 silver lens instead of 17,010 silver lens, with a reward multiplier of 1.1 instead of 1.3, but it also only costs half of what it cost before. And then base repair cost for the Streetswagen 121 in RB will be 5,350 instead of 7,740 silver lines with a reward multiplier of 1.5 versus 1.6. So 2,000 silver lines repair cost decrease with a very minimal reward decrease. The base repair cost for the 2.4 and RB will be 12,570 silver lines, which is still a lot, instead of 30,170, which is just atrocious, with a reward multiplier of 2.3 versus 1.8. I'm not sure if they've made a mistake here or if this is relating to the rank of the 2-4 and the position in its tree, and it would gain a higher reward multiplier because of that, which is good. Or if that is just a mistake and they switched the numbers around, because I honestly can't tell. And you know, they're just kind of prone to making mistakes in their dev blogs and news articles because they're not proofreading anything. And if they do, then they're letting that do a monkey or something. I don't know. But that's something I actually noticed recently, that a lot more of the dev diaries, etc., have more and more mistakes in them. Anyways, Next example is base repair cost for the F5A and realistic ballots will be 10,210 silver lines instead of 5,720 silver lines, a reward multiplier of 3.8 versus 2.9. That just generally seems like an improvement, but I don't have the F5, so I don't really know. Base repair cost for the Paritskaya Kommuna, something Soviet ship. In realistic ballots will be 28,430 silver lines, holy shit. Instead of 50,860 silver lines, holy shit, no wonder no one fucking plays Neva. With a reward multiplier of 2.0 or just flat 2 versus 2.3. So this also seems mostly positive. It's also once again almost a cost decrease of 50%, while the reward multiplier hasn't really dropped all that much. Then the last example, and then we go over the final things, right? Base repair cost for the F86A5 and CL13 Mark IV Italy in realistic ballots will be 11,290 and 12,410 silver lines instead of 6,950 and 10,490 silver lines respectively, which seems reasonable. And here the vote or the poll I talked about earlier. We would like you to invite the War community to vote for one of the economy model described above. Economy by vehicle efficiency, current system, or economy by vehicle rank. That's why I will link this entire article in the description. So just click on this and vote. Of course you will have to log in first, but then the last things here, changes of the reward multipliers, repairs, and related vehicle economy parameters. If I'm saying economy one more time, I'm going to jump off something. Please note that depending on the results of your vote, the next economy, update will be made based on the results of your choice. That's why we're publishing two separate table sheets of economy changes. This, hold on. Right, this is the planned economic changes. Depending on the two updates, or not two updates, but rather relate the coming. Okay, this is the coming economy update. One time laid out for the current economic system, and then for the proposed one, so you can compare both. And here also changes of research purchase cost and related parameters for some vehicles. I believe this is a current change and it includes like 3 vehicles. Yes, it includes the Centauro 105, the Centauro 105R, which I'm honestly not sure what it is, and the VCC 8060, which I can only assume to be a boat. The purchase cost of all of them went down. The Centauro from 590,000 to 500,000. The R model from 40,000 to 590,000, and whatever this is from 930,000 to 740,000. Okay, you know what? I'm not even sure if that's a correct number anyways. The research cost also dropped significantly from 220,000, Jesus Christ, to 180,000 from 27. What the fuck am I saying here? 270,000 to 227. What? Oh, Jesus Christ. 220,000. Right. Okay. And the boat or whatever that is goes from 340,000 to 270,000. So a decrease by 40,000, 50,000, and 70,000. Crew trainings cost also goes down, but I'm not gonna go over that. The crew expert cost goes down. The crew ace cost changes for the first Centauro by 100 golden eagles. At least, yeah, that should be golden eagles. And the talisman cost goes down by 200, 100, and 100. So the new talisman costs for the vehicles in the already explained order will be 2,400, 2,600, and 2,700. And the German F104G has been moved to rank 7. As for my personal opinion, I think the conclusion of this poll is good. Well, it's a bit unfortunate that you gain a little less for victories. You're still getting a significant margin over a defeat. And you're not punished as severely when you kill 10 people or something, but still lose the match because you just can't, just replace 16 people. So I think that's good. I also think that that I favor the, how's it called, the rank-based economy system they're proposing here over the one we have currently, because as it is, it simply leads to a lot of vehicles being ridiculously expensive, while in some cases not even being actually, like, they're not actually good, right? They're simply that high priced because only good players touch them anymore, because other players see the cost and are like, yeah, you know what, I'm not gonna spend 50,000 just because someone broke my tank, right? Even with a victory, you're not gonna make 50,000 in a defeat. So just by losing the match, especially if you don't have premium account, you're just stuck with negative income. So that kind of snowballed. So I believe that the economy systems for the ranks are good. I also compared the tables, like I went over them myself, and it seems to be an overall improvement. Unfortunately, the problem with the tables is as well that it is taking the premium vehicles into account. And I'm not sure if premium vehicles have different or how the repair cost with premium vehicles is handled. And of course, they have a higher income modifier, right? So I think those tables would be a lot better if they exclusively had non-premium vehicles in them, because the amount of premium vehicles, etc., just kind of fudges with the entire thing. So I have difficulty making a clear decision on if it's better, but it seems to be. And as I said, it seems to get rid of this kind of snowball problem, which exists for many vehicles. I believe the Italian Sagittario jet also suffers from this. Very expensive, if I'm not mistaken, and only flown by very few people because of that, which just causes it to snowball again. At least that is my opinion, and I voted on the new rank-based system. If you have another opinion, feel free to share that in the comments why you think that is. Or if you share my opinion as well, you can of course also lay out why you do that. And because this is a poll, you're probably good on doing that, because someone else might read it and change their opinion based on that. So anyways, I know this has been relatively long because there was quite a lot to go over, and I wanted to properly read all those things out and give a reasoned opinion. But yeah, that's it. Thank you for listening, and goodbye.